For nearly 60 years, Arts United has worked to bring the rich, diverse talents of our region together through support of the arts, socially, culturally, and economically. Arts United, providing a home for the arts in Northeast Indiana.
Excellence lives here in Northeastern Indiana. It's reflected in more than 200 nationally recognized degrees. It drives our Division I sports. It's alive in our campus life. Excellence has a name, IPFW. Around our campus, around the country, around the world. Excellence lives here. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
This is Arts Weekly. Arts Weekly is presented by the College of Visual and Performing Arts at IPFW, offering degrees in fine arts, music, theater, and visual communication and design. IPFW, the energy of the arts.
Welcome to this edition of Arts Weekly. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Melinda Haines with the IPFW College of Visual and Performing Arts. Later, we'll chat with Craig Humphrey, who is directing The House of Blue Leaves at First Presbyterian Theater. But first, we'll visit with Phillip Colglazier and Emily Susanne Franklin about The Drowsy Chaperone, opening at the Fort Wayne Civic Theater March 2nd. Phillip and Emily, thank you so much for stopping by today.
Thank you.
Thank you. I have never heard of this Drowsy Chaperone before, so tell me, this next production, give me a basic rundown of the show.
Well, actually, it was done in 2006 on Broadway, and it won 5 Broadway Tony Awards. And it's a story about a gentleman that has an apartment in New York, and he has the blues. And so what he's a musical theater fan, and so what he does to get rid of the blues is to listen to one of his favorite cast Broadway recordings, and it is a 1928 version of The Drowsy Chaperone. And so what happens is, throughout the play, as he's playing the recording, these characters come to life right in his apartment, coming out of the walls and the interior, and it's just very hysterical, over the top, and it just makes you feel good. And it clears away all your blues, just like he's trying to do, and it's done with a delightful cast of characters.
So this show then, I mean, with the title The Drowsy Chaperone, you know, taking you back to the 20s, but it really is a relatively recent, you know,
correct,
play or musical. It's
yes,
it's written recently, but gone back in time.
Yes,
so,
it's gone more vintage.
So the 20s have to, you know, and that whole setting has got to take a front seat in the show. I mean, The Drowsy Chaperone is not a real musical.
No,
correct?
It's not.
One that would have been set in that time period.
Correct. And so it's his envision of what the musical recording would be, because he's telling you about it, and all of a sudden it comes to life. And so all the characters have a relationship with the audience, but not directly with him. And so it's interesting how the different theatrical devices are used throughout the show.
Well, yeah, so how do you portray this to the audience? Because you have him thinking of this in his imagination, yet it's taking place in front of him and the audience.
Yes, well, he stops the record every once in a while to do his own commentary, and it's very funny on how he does his takes on theater and the status of theater today, and so it's very tongue-in-cheek kind of little stabs at the industry, which is very, very funny as it's happening at the time.
Well, and the fact that he has a record player. I mean, there are probably people out there who don't even know what a record player is right now. So these characters who come out of the woodwork to him and his imagination in the audience, tell me about these characters and their roles.
They're a delightful bunch. The main theme is Janet Van de Graaff, which is being played by Emily. And actually, I'll let her tell her about her own plot and character.
Sure. Janet is, they describe her within the script as a star of film and screen. She's known as the Oops girl. Well, the actress who portrays her, Jane Roberts, is the Oops girl, big starlet of the 20s. And Jane Roberts is portraying Janet Van de
So you're
Graaff.
kind of two characters, a character within a character.
Yes, I'm an actor playing a role as it is imagined by our man in the chair. So it's quite a lot of layers in there.
And so what does Janet bring to the show? What's her
Janet, well, her essential storyline is that this starlet is giving up her successful career to marry. She is giving up the life she has known for love. And it's the trials and confusion that goes along with that. So I'm a big show-off. It's actually the title of my first number.
It's an hysterical number. The producer is playing Feldzik. It's his job to try to keep her to be an actress.
I see.
And there's some gangsters involved, and yet the Drowsy Chaperone, it's her job to make sure she gets married. So there lies the conflict.
And that's the title of the show.
Exactly.
Then that's where that comes
Correct.
in.
Yes.
Okay. So the other characters who are in the performance are...
The Drowsy Chaperone is being played by Lisa Ramos, and her love interest, Robert Martin, is Tony Didier. Mick Long is playing the underling, the butler, and Julie Donnell is playing Mrs. Tottendale, delightful character. And Aldolfo, the Italian lover, is being played by Sean Spivey. And all the characters are just over the top because it is his imagination. And it's just one of those shows where you just come and you laugh.
Right. Well, and a lot of these names are going to be familiar to Fort Wayne theater goers, but Emily, you're new to Fort Wayne.
I am.
Tell us how did you get here?
Well, long story short, there were some family issues, and then I had an injury that these things combined have kept me out of New York for just over a year. But this is what I do with my life. This is my career. So I ended up here with Jonathan Mogg. He is the resident lighting and sound designer for the Civic, which is how I initially got to know their work. And I wanted to do this show very badly for several years.
This is going to be great to, for your debut in Fort Wayne to have you here with that. Now, the show itself, it is a musical, and you've got dance numbers, and you've got, so we've got some show-stopping numbers, I'm imagining.
Oh, and one, which I do, she does a wonderful job. And what she mentioned is she sings the song, I Don't Want to Show Off. But throughout the whole show, she is showing off. And it's hysterical. She is more than a triple threat. It's quadruple, because of all the things that she's doing within that short amount of time. It's fun.
So what are those challenges that you're finding in this role?
Oh, goodness. Well, aside from those layers that we already mentioned, the idea of playing an actor who is in this conflict between wanting her career but also wanting love. So that in itself is a constant battle going on. But then I'm turning tricks and falling into splits while singing my face off. So it's a marathon.
And it's not easy music either.
No, it's
not. Technically, vocally, and to be
Very
doing
difficult.
all that she's doing at that time is just amazing.
Right. Now, do you think any of your career thus far is anything like this character that you're playing?
Janet is a little bit of a departure from what I've done in the past. In my history, I have mainly played the supporting female. She's usually a dancing role. She sings a little bit, and she does the punchlines. That's what I normally do. So although Janet is very similar to those in the challenges, in what the script calls for, she is kind of a bridge into leading lady material. So it's nice to kind of make this transition.
Oh, well, that's going to be so fun to see you in the show. Now, I think a lot of the show taking place in the 20s, I mean, that's a pretty special era, I think, for a lot of musicals. That's just, what does that, bring to the show, to be able to be in that era?
Right. It's the style of the costumes, of course, but also the style of performance. There is an edge of vaudeville type of presentation with a lot of the characters, especially Mrs. Tottendale and the underling. And Mrs. Tottendale's the wealthy lady of the era, and so it's very funny how they do that, and so it's very delightful to see the contrast, because today the man in the chair, being played by Bob Allersmeyer, who does a wonderful job, is the main character, and he narrates it, but that contrast from today and to back then adds a lot of humor for the audience.
Well, so how would you describe this play? I mean, is it a traditional musical? I mean, is it just a lot of fun?
It's just, what they call it is a madcap mayhem
okay.
of a mistaken identity,
right.
and in that regard. So it's very fast-paced, there's no intermission, and it's over before you know it. So it's one of those, hold on to your seat and you're going for a ride.
So what do you hope the audience takes away on this
I just
ride?
want them to laugh, and they will, and they'll come away singing several of the songs.
Absolutely.
It's one of those musicals you don't know, but you'll go away humming a lot of the melodies.
Well, that just sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. So that's the next show, and it opens
March 2nd through the 17th at the Arts United Center downtown.
All right, and so you've got a couple things coming up after that I want to be sure that we get a little bit to talk about. So Cinderella is the next.
Yes,
piece.
Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella, and it is the musical. The ballet's doing the ballet version.
Okay.
But I just want to make sure when you call, you say you want to come to the musical if that's what you're wanting.
Right.
So, but it is the Rodgers and Hammerstein, the version that had Leslie Ann Warren in it, and
we've all seen it on TV.
Oh yeah, from years ago.
Yeah, it's
but it's a
fabulous.
delightful piece, and the auditions are the 13th of March.
Okay.
And the Doug King is our guest director for that production.
Okay.
So he's returning to Fort Wayne to direct it and choreograph it for
And
us.
anyone is welcome to audition
Of
at the
course,
Civic Theater,
yeah.
right?
Anytime.
And how do
We
they
encourage that.
how do they get on the audition list, or how do they find out about the auditions?
Just give us a call. We send out our audition notices via email, but if you don't, you can just go to our website at www.fwcivic.org and find all the information there, and how to prepare, what to prepare, when to be there, and everything, and the expectations. So it's all right there on our website.
Is that a very big cast? For
Cinderella?
Rodgers?
It's probably closer to 30. Our production of the Drowsy Chaperone is at 17.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's a bigger
That's
cast with all the ballroom, the townspeople scenes as well.
Well, and I want to make sure that we talk about your annual Playwright Festival that's coming up too. We have a little bit of time here. Tell me what's going on with that.
I'm so excited about this project. It's a new initiative. It's now going into its 4th year for us, and we never really had done anything in our community to really nurture playwriting and providing them an outlet. And so we created this festival for that reason. And the first place winning play this year is The Wedding Gift by Nancy Carlson Dodd. We'll be performing that. It's a comedy, very delightful, very funny twist with a whole wedding situation. And then we're also doing a feature play called Lombard, a one-woman show starring Jessica Butler, who, based on the life of Carol Lombard, Fort Wayne native, Hollywood starlet. So
that's going to be a great lineup. And so you actually you produce the full show of the award-winning play.
Correct.
And then you have readings of the other ones.
Correct. The second and third place play get readings, so the playwrights learn how to strengthen their script and to actually see these characters come to life that had only been in their head and on paper.
And they get some reaction to it.
And they get
as
reaction,
well.
they
What's better
get
than
feedback,
that?
there's discussion afterwards. We're bringing in the playwright of Lombard to be a moderator and to provide a workshop, as well as Doug Post from the Dramatists Guild from Chicago to do a special workshop. And so it's a way to learn about the craft.
Right.
And because we wouldn't be here if we didn't,
That's right.
with at least my career. And it all starts with the playwright. And so we're trying to nurture that here in our community.
Oh, great. Okay, so Drowsy Chaperone opens
March 2nd.
March 2nd.
Through the 17th.
Okay.
And you can go online or to our number there, 424-5220, and purchase them. And so it's a delightful piece, and you don't want to miss this one.
No, I sure don't. Well, thank you, Emily and Phillip, so much for being here today. While we get ready for our next segment, please take a minute to view our performance calendar of what's coming up in our area. You also can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We'll be right back with Craig Humphrey, the director of The House of Blue Leaves, opening February 28th.